It is currently my favorite time of the year as a wrestling fan. It is Royal Rumble season, and I am so excited for this weekend. Last year, the Women's Royal Rumble match knocked the men's out of the water, in my opinion. There were so many surprises, and it was awesome. But will it do the same this year? Well, today I am going to try and predict the winner. Will I get it right? Let's find out. Now, before we get started, a quick little disclaimer that as always here at Wrestling Republic, we don't look at the dirt sheets, we don't look at the spoilers, so none of this is based on any of that. We don't care for it, and please don't comment it down below in the comments either saying, oh, you're wrong, so-and-so reported this, they're not going to be in the Rumble. I don't care, I really don't. But what we will be talking about is the betting odds a little bit. But the betting odds the last couple of years have been so off with the Royal Rumbles. So honestly, it's just another interesting thing to look at. In at number 10, Nikki Bella, who in my opinion has less than a 1% chance. It was only a handful of months ago that Nikki and Brie stopped using the Bella name, changed it to Garcia, and started kind of throwing a little bit of subtle shots at WWE. It seemed like the bridge between the two sides was completely and utterly burned. But, of course, at the Raw on Netflix premiere, Nikki Bella changed all of that. She was in attendance, she was shown on screen, and her appearance had more views than any celebrity appearance on that premiere. So in only a couple of months, it's literally gone from fans predicting that they will have a retirement match in AEW, and in fact the Garcia twins both teasing that themselves, to now it looking very possible that Nikki Bella could be returning to the ring at the Royal Rumble. But of course, the big question is whether or not she would win it. And I think it is highly unlikely, but it undoubtedly would help repair the relationship between the two sides. But even still, I can't see it happening. But Nikki Bella versus Tiffany Stratton would indeed be a lot of fun. In at number 9, Alexa Bliss with a 1% chance. And I predict that Alexa Bliss will be returning at the Royal Rumble. I hope that she will be returning. I have missed her so much. But the question is, will she win it? And this massively depends on her gimmick. Because if she returns with the Wyatt section, or the Wyatt gimmick she had, I think there's next to a 0% chance. But if she returns with her old goddess gimmick, the gimmick she had from 2016 to 2019, well, I do think it would be extremely possible she could potentially win it. But even still, I do think it's unlikely. In at number 8, Jordynne Grace with a 2% chance. Now, of course, we saw Jordynne Grace show up as the Knockouts champion, the TNA Knockouts champion, last year in the Royal Rumble. And this year, well, she seemingly potentially just finished up with TNA wrestling, because after her match with Tessa Blanchard at TNA Genesis, she seemingly did say goodbye to those fans. It seemed to me like a goodbye watching it live. But will she be heading to WWE? To me, it's an obvious yes. But the bigger question, at least the question at hand here, is will she win the Rumble? And while I do think there is a potential chance, a long shot chance, a 1 in 50 chance, I don't think it will happen. Because how often has somebody come into WWE, instantly arrived, and instantly won the Royal Rumble? It is incredibly rare, and I don't think it's going to happen. In at number 7, Bianca Belair. And this is a really interesting one, because currently she is one half of the Women's Tag Team Championships along with Naomi, and of course they lost this week to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, who will now get a proper championship opportunity. So could potentially Bianca Belair drop those titles, win the Royal Rumble match, and then go on to face Rhea Ripley or Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania? Now, what is fascinating about this is Bianca Belair is all over the Raw on Netflix advertisements, yet has not been on the show yet. So could the plan be for her to win the Royal Rumble and take on Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania? I mean, I guess it's possible. Also, she's currently the bookies' 4 favorite heading into the show as well, which seems massively high for me, a little bit confusing. But maybe the plan could even be for Belair to win the Rumble, and then for Cargill to return at the Chamber and win the Chamber, and then do that match in Mania. I don't know. It's a little bit of a long shot, but you can never rule out Bianca Belair, and I'm going to give her a 5% chance. In at number 6, Bayley at 5%. Could Bayley do it back to back? She won it last year. Will she do it again this year? Here's the interesting thing. She hasn't done much lately outside of this feud with Roxanne Perez on NXT. And historically, especially over the last few years, the Royal Rumble winners, if they haven't been a surprise return, have done very little in the months leading up to the Royal Rumble. It almost feels like they're killing time for them while trying to protect them a little bit. And with the case of Bayley, it's kind of felt like they're trying to do that once again. Ripley versus Bayley would be a banger. Bayley versus Tiffy would be a banger. But of course, they've recently moved Bayley to Raw. So Ripley versus Bayley, maybe that's the reason why. I'm giving it a 5% chance. In at number 5 with again a 5% chance. Everybody's got a 5% chance here, it seems. Jade Cargill. And of course, she has been out of action for a while. We're still not entirely sure the extent of her injury or whether or not she could even be back anytime soon. But if she does return, she has to be one of the favorites. We know that WWE view Jade Cargill very highly, and before her injury, she was one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions. Of course, since then has been replaced by Naomi. But while Belair and Naomi go on this tag team run, could the plan be to move Jade Cargill into this main event scene? Could we find out that Tiffany Stratton was the one who actually attacked Jade Cargill and tried to take her out weirdly? I don't know. Also, maybe Bianca Belair will win an Elimination Chamber and win one of the women's championships. And then at that point, Jade Cargill challenges her instead. I mean, it's a lot of different long shots here, but there's a lot of different options. And of course, it usually is a return like a Jade Cargill who ends up winning the Royal Rumble. So I definitely don't think you can rule it out, but I can't give it more than a 5% chance. In at number 4 is Asuka. And the big question mark around Asuka is how long she will be out, because we still have absolutely no idea. But if she does step foot in this Royal Rumble match, the second she enters those ropes, she would become the favorite in my eyes. She's been out of the main event picture, the main event scene, for way too long now. And her versus Ripley at WrestleMania, that would feel massively refreshing, and I would love to see it. Again, I can't really give it more than a 5% chance because we have no idea how long she's going to be out for. But this is the thing with this Women's Royal Rumble, right? There's 2 major favorites, which we'll get into in a second. And then there's just tons of people who could potentially win, but you're not really comfortable giving more than a 5% chance to. But before we do get into the top 3, if you guys could please like and subscribe, that would mean so much to me. Here at Wrestling Republic, we create between 5 to 10 free videos every single week, and in addition to that, every single day for free at 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern in America, and 12 p.m. Pacific in America, we have Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, a 45-minute live daily stream where you guys can comment and we share your comments. It's an awful lot of fun, and if you could subscribe and like on this video and potentially even leave a comment, that would mean the world to me. Thank you guys. In at number 3, Io Sky with a 6% chance. Like I mentioned with Bayley, the Royal Rumble winner usually doesn't do that much in the build-up to the Royal Rumble, and this has been massively the case with Io Sky. She's not really done anything of note since War Games. And the betting markets are really liking her right now. In fact, she's currently the second favorite. So it is undoubtedly possible. A lot of people think it's possible. And Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Inject that into my veins. That would be amazing. But in at number 2, and one of the pretty much neck and neck favorites in this Rumble, I have Becky Lynch with a 34% chance of winning. I mean, surely Becky Lynch has to be returning at this Rumble. She's been out for way too long. We saw her photographed at the Raw Netflix premiere. Please, can Becky come back? She's been gone for nearly a year now, and what better way for her to return than the Royal Rumble, winning the Royal Rumble and running it back once again against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Now, I know we saw it last year, but Becky said that she was really not happy with this match, and she had the flu all week long. She worked that, quite frankly, great match against Rhea Ripley, while having a massively high temperature, being massively unwell. I mean, it truly is amazing, but if they can have that good of a match while Becky is ill, imagine them at full strength. Becky couldn't get the job done last year, but could she do it this year? I would love to find out. And in at number 1 with a 36% chance, I have Charlotte Flair. Just like Becky, Charlotte has been out for way too long. But unlike Becky, we know Charlotte is going to be in this Royal Rumble match, which is why I give her the 2% advantage. Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton is one of the most widely predicted matches heading into WrestleMania season, and I undoubtedly could see that happening. But equally, I would love to see Charlotte and Rhea Ripley run it back as well. WWE views Charlotte as the face of the division, and we know Triple H is a massive Charlotte Flair fan. He hasn't pushed her too much so far since she's been in charge of creative, but I do think she very well could win this Royal Rumble, and right now she is my pick to win it. But if Becky does enter the match, immediately these odds shift and I will favor Becky, right? But the thing is, we don't know if she's going to show up or not. Now, of course, as you guys know from my video the other day, spoiler if you haven't seen it, check it out to see the full video, but I think Randy Orton will win the Men's Royal Rumble, right? And this would mean both the men and women's winner would be off SmackDown. So potentially that once again pays into the favor of Becky Lynch or Io Sky, but we will have to wait to find out. Who do you guys think will win the Royal Rumble? Let me know your predictions in the comments down below, and please check out my video from the other day talking about the men's match if you haven't seen that yet. Thank you guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace!